What if I told you generational wealth is not something rich families magically have? It's something they build on purpose. A lot of Black families work hard, love hard, and still end up watching money disappear every generation. Not because they failed, but because nobody taught them how to turn income into assets, assets into protection, and protection into legacy. In this video, we're breaking down how wealthy Black families actually build generational wealth and how you can start doing the same. One of the first shifts wealthy families make is simple. They stop treating money like something that came to be used up. They start treating money like a worker. That means every dollar has a job. Some dollars pay bills. Some dollars protect the family. Some dollars buy assets. Some dollars build future options. That sounds basic, but it changes everything. A lot of families grow up thinking money is about relief. I finally got some money. Let me breathe. Let me treat myself. Let me catch up. Let me get something nice because I deserve it. And listen, I understand that. When life has been heavy, spending can feel like healing. But wealthy families understand something a lot of us learn too late. If every extra dollar becomes consumption, then nothing remains to become capital.
And capital is what changes the bloodline. Not just income, capital. The money that buys the duplex, the money that starts the business, the money that becomes the down payment, the money that funds the emergency account, so one crisis does not destroy everything. Wealthy Black families learn to ask a different question. Not just what can we buy, but what can this money become? That is where generational wealth starts.
Part 2. They build assets before they build appearance. This is a hard truth, but it has to be said. A lot of people are trying to look like the life they have not secured yet, and that pressure is real. There is pressure to look stable, pressure to look successful, pressure to prove you made it, pressure to wear your progress so people can finally respect you. But wealthy families know appearance is expensive when it comes before infrastructure. So they build the base first. They focus on ownership, equity, savings, business income, retirement accounts, legal protection, insurance, cash reserves. Then, if they want nice things later, fine. But they do not put the image ahead of the structure. And that matters because image does not rescue a family in crisis. A real emergency does not care about a luxury car. A medical bill does not care about designer clothes. A death in the family does not care how nice the furniture looked. Wealthy families think in terms of protection. They understand that a lot of people who look rich are actually fragile. And they do not want fragile wealth. They want durable wealth, the kind that survives bad years, the kind that survives job loss, the kind that survives death, divorce, setbacks, and market shifts. That kind of wealth is usually much quieter, but it lasts longer. Part 3. They use home ownership as a tool, not a trophy. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest engines of generational wealth in America. Home ownership. For many Black families, the house is not just a house. It is proof. It is safety. It is dignity. It is the first real thing that feels like it belongs to the family. And that matters. But wealthy families understand something important. A home can be a wealth-building tool, but only if it is protected, affordable, and part of a bigger plan. Too many people are told that simply buying a house solves everything. It does not. A house helps when the payments do not choke the household, the title is clean, the insurance is in place, the property is maintained, the ownership plan is clear. The family knows what happens to it when someone dies. Without that, the house can become confusion instead of security. And that is part of why so much family wealth disappears. Not because nobody cared, but because nobody structured it. Wealthy families use the house like a foundation stone, not the whole building. They understand home equity is powerful, but they do not stop there. They also build liquid savings. They also build investment accounts. They also build businesses. They also build paperwork. Because they know a home can anchor a family, but only if the family knows how to keep it. Part 4. They talk about money openly in the house. A lot of Black families have deep love, but not always deep money conversations. And I get why. Money can feel emotional, embarrassing, private, tense, sometimes even traumatic. Some parents do not talk about money because they never felt they had enough. Some do not talk about it because they were ashamed. Some do not talk about it because all they knew was struggle. But wealthy families understand that silence is expensive. If the children never hear how decisions are made, they do not learn how to make them. If the family never discusses wills, property, insurance, debt, or beneficiaries, confusion shows up later. If no one knows where the accounts are, who owns what, or what the plan is, then death can wipe out years of sacrifice in months. Wealthy families teach money in conversation long before money gets passed down. They talk about what things cost, why they bought assets instead of status, how debt works, how credit works, how a business makes money, how the house is protected, what the children need to know. That is huge. Because when children grow up hearing wise money decisions, wealth stops feeling mysterious. It becomes normal. And when something becomes normal, people are more likely to repeat it. Part 5. They treat business ownership like a family ladder. This is one of the most powerful patterns. Wealthy Black families often do not rely on one paycheck forever. They try to own something. Not always something flashy, not always a giant company. Sometimes something very normal. A cleaning business, a trucking company, a tax office, a barber shop, a catering business, a home care business, a small real estate company, a digital brand, a service business with repeat customers. Why does this matter so much? Because a job pays you. A business can pay you, employ your family, build equity, create flexibility, and possibly be passed down. That is a different level of leverage. This right here is where many families lose everything. They work hard, they buy the house, they save some money, maybe they even build a business, but they never put the legal protection around it. No will, no trust, no updated beneficiaries, no plan, no clear transfer instructions, no paperwork that tells the system what the family already knows emotionally. And the law does not care about family feelings. The law cares about documents. That is why wealthy families take estate planning seriously. Not because they are obsessed with death, because they are obsessed with protection. They understand that love without paperwork can still leave chaos. If the house is in the wrong name, that matters. If multiple heirs are unclear, that matters. If nobody knows the insurance policy details, that matters. If the family must go through expensive confusion during grief, that matters. Wealthy families know that wealth is not just about building, it is about preserving. And preservation is usually boring. It is meetings, files, beneficiaries, wills, trusts, policies, titles. But boring is beautiful when it prevents the family from starting over. Part 7. They build a family culture, not just a family account. A lot of people think generational wealth is just money. It is not. Money without culture disappears fast. Real generational wealth includes beliefs, discipline, stewardship, patience, skill, standards, systems, responsibility. Wealthy families train people, not just accounts. They teach children, don't spend everything. Learn how to solve problems. Own before you show off. Protect your name. Respect credit. Understand taxes. Know what assets are. Don't be afraid of money. Don't worship money either. That is the deeper lesson.
Because if you hand someone money without teaching them how to handle pressure, temptation, and responsibility, you are not handing them wealth. You are handing them exposure. And a lot of family fortunes disappear not because the money was too small, but because the mindset was never built. Wealthy families build both at the same time.
Part 8. They think in generations, not just this year. This might be the biggest shift of all. Wealthy families think farther ahead. A lot of struggling families are forced to think this month to this month, understandably. But wealthy families ask different questions. How does this decision affect our children? What are we leaving behind? What system are we creating? What burden are we removing from the next person? How do we make sure the next generation starts ahead of us, not behind us? That mindset changes spending. It changes saving. It changes parenting. It changes who gets access to money and how. Because now the goal is not just survival. Now the goal is continuity. And continuity is where generational wealth lives. Not in one good year. Not in one big check. Not in one lucky break. In systems that keep working after the original builder is gone.